Not only a sport I enjoy playing, but an excuse to get together with friends and teammates at your local dive bar. I was quick to say I know how to play pool, it fast, jump up, start hitting the balls at full force. But after getting well affiliated with the game, playing with excellent talent in the APA League, I saw 8 Ball for what it was, a game full of strategy, critical thinking, and a lot of competitive nature. The new love for a game I thought I knew how to play started at Pogo's Bar and Grill, located in Van Nuys, a city of the San Fernando Valley. Although that wasn't my first time picking up a pool cue, it was where I polished up my game the most. Let me introduce you to the APA, the American Pool Players Association, and its league, a great way to take your pool playing skills to the next level. Where the competition varies in age, skill, and ethnicity. First, I'll introduce the popular pool league for the players and the history of the sport. Second, we'll go over the pool stick, and it's also referred to as a cue. Third, take a look at my involvement with the sport and its culture. American Pool Players Association was started in 1981 by two professional pool players and Billiard Hall of Famers. Terry Bell and Larry Hubbard made it possible for teams all around the nation to come together, compete, and enjoy the same passion for the game. An article written by the APA states that these dreams were made possible by big sponsors like Anheuser-Busch, who came along in 1979, a major break for them. In the beginning, it was hard for the organization to get off to a profitable start, but with support like that behind them, APA hosted its first national championship in 1981 in St. Louis with a cash prize of $12,000. Although billiards is one of the oldest games to exist, it resembled and originated from a game played outdoors in the 15th century. It evolved from a long game similar to croquet played in Europe. This is why the felt, which is the cloth liner on the table, is green to simulate grass. Richard Logan wrote an article January 18, 2023 on azbilliards.com where it was stated that the development of the professional side of the sport was a long and arduous process. It began in the early 19th century. This is when the first pool tabletops were appeared and the game grew in popularity. The APA also been recognized as one of the top small business home-based franchise opportunities in the world. In 2010, Forbes magazine ranked the APA as the second top 20 franchise to start. Having such a popular worldwide association to participate in, the history of the success from the business aspect is not hard to believe. In my experience playing in these leagues, they stay in business by charging to become a member of the association, having team duels on match night for each player, and entry fees for any tournaments. So enough of the history lesson. Let's get to my prized possession and the artifact I chose, my shooting pool cue. One of the most important tools used to get the win against your opponent. Once you get more serious with the game of pool, you learn the importance of having decent equipment to execute your game plan better. I'll give you an example of the evolution of the pool cue when the popularity and demand grew. Also, the introduction of the breaking cue, used in the match to keep you from damaging your shooting cue. The pool cue is essential to the game. The modern stick used today is much different from back then. Maces were in their place. The mace has a lot of similarities to the modern day pool stick except for one detail, the head. Unlike the straight head of a pool cue, the mace was much bigger and was used in the 1600s. They found this stick had its area for improvement, especially true whenever the ball would be close to a rail and the head would keep players from making a decent shot. A quote taken from Paradon.co.uk explains how during the 1929 to the 1930s there was a tremendous increase in the demand of billiard cues, brought about by the opening of several thousand billiard halls. I can already imagine the joy of purchasing a new cue back in those days. Walking in with a carrying case and your new pool stick, having your own gives you that full pool league experience. There are two different styles of pool cues. One is used for the first play of every match, which is to separate the striped and solid balls using the breaking cue. Predator released the first breaking cue in 2001, equipped with balanced weight design as well as tip, and Furlue developed to transfer maximum energy. This information was taken from an article on PredatorCues.com. Just with the history and longevity of this sport and its tight association, it's easy to want to pick up a cue and start playing. Let me first tell you about my personal connection with this amazing game. Falling in love and getting better at this game took a lot of patience and dedication. Telling you about every win and loss would be too much. So let me explain where and when I started playing, where I entered, when I was introduced to APA, and my first time experiencing winning with my team. I began playing summer of 2002, city of Canoga Park in my uncle's garage. No form of no form or detailed instructions on how to play. I began hitting the ball. Soon visits to my uncle's house, which were intended for swimming and staying out the heat, became practice sessions. In no time, I was beating and compete and putting up a good fight against the competition in that garage. Little did I know, my skill would still need a lot of improvement to compete with APA players. In 2018, in a local dive bar, Fogel Bar and Grill, I was introduced to the National Pool League. I joined the team TaylorMade. This is where my game went to the next level, watching and learning from higher ranked players on my squad and the opponents. My first season played with TaylorMade, tw- spring 2018, we won the Valley Wet Blue tournament and took first place and the prize money to split among us. That season was full of new styles of play and strategy needed to get the win. Knowing only how to strike my balls before turned into learning to play defense with ball placement, which could also help on offense. As you see, playing for money and bragging rights for the night APA can get very competitive. Just as I was taught new skills when playing billiards, first we were able to learn the interesting facts about the history of 8-ball pool and the APA league. Second, going over the pool cue, and lastly, my personal connection to the game. Next time you walk into your local dive bar, take a glance over at the pool tables. It could be league night or an APA tournament being played. Take a final look at my prize cue. Hopefully, it will encourage you to visit your local billiard store, purchase one. You may be next team competing for first place.